Why is autumn so beautiful? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, this is Jill from the North Woods, exploring nature right outside your front door. Hopefully you're enjoying our trip and enjoying walking right outside in your neighborhood a little bit more. Today we're going to talk about fall leaves. Albert Camus said that autumn is a second spring where every leaf is a flower. I think that just captures the magic of the season. Right now, we are in this area turning fall leaves. I have some red trees, some orange trees, and some yellow trees. Still a lot of green trees, but fall is definitely here. And I just love this particular time of year. I love spring. I love fall too. It just warms my heart. So we're going to talk about autumn leaves and why do they change? Why do they fall? And why does it stir something, I guess, in us? Now, I'll admit, I just think of this podcast as Fun with Flags with Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Sometimes I sit down and I just give little fun facts about things. And while I'm not as far on the spectrum as Sheldon, I do love to share quirky facts. And I hope that, like I said, it makes you appreciate nature a little bit more. But this is going to be fun with fall leaves. As you know, the days get shorter and the nights get colder. The trees stop making chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what makes them green. It's what brings energy captured from sunlight and turns it into tree food. When that chlorophyll starts to break down, the green disappears. And actually what happens is the leaves aren't turning yellow and red and brown and all those colors. In fact, what's happening is the green disappears and what is left over is that hidden color. All the things that you see in autumn is the lack of the green in leaves. And so some trees even have new pigments. There's something that we're going to talk about called anthocyanins that gives us the brilliant reds and purples, and the maples and the sumacs are famous for that display of red. But there's a little bit of engineering goes on. At the base of every leaf, the tree forms what is called an abscission layer, which is basically a weak point where the leaf connects to the branch. So it has a failure point on purpose. And when that layer is complete and the leaf can no longer pass food back to the tree or water, that leaf falls off. A gust of wind comes down and there it goes. It is extremely high energy for a tree to keep leaves alive. But it's okay when those leaves are producing food and bringing water in. When they're not, we cut them off so that the tree can survive. And it isn't wasteful, it's survival. Like I said, the tree held onto the leaves. If it did through winter, it would lose so much water, so much energy, and the tree would be in danger of dying. So this will allow the tree to hunker down into those cold months. So when we talk about the colors themselves, there's carotenoids. We've heard about carotenoids in food. That gives us the yellows, the oranges, and it's the same thing that exists in carrots and corn. Anthocyanins give us red and purples. We find those in cranberries, apples, and grapes. And of course, chlorophyll is green. That's what happens in leafy vegetables, right? So that's the idea. So let's break down a little bit more about each of those things. Chlorophyll's job is essentially, like I said, it makes the green pigment found in it. It captures sunlight and then uses that photosynthesis to make food energy for the tree itself. It disappears because the fall has shorter days, cooler nights, and that's an indication to the tree's natural schedule to stop making chlorophyll. And when that breaks away, the green fades away. The carotenoids, they're, like I said, a pigment. They're the oranges and browns. They're found in carrots, pumpkins, corn, daffodils. And what they do is that they're always present in the leaf, but during the summer, the green chlorophyll masks them, and then the true color shines through at the end. And then the anthocyanins are the pigments that are found in like cranberries, apples, grapes, red cabbage. Those are often made in fall itself. So that's a little bit different than the yellows and the browns. We are actually going to make that red pigment in fall. Sunny days, cool nights, traps the sugars in the leaves. The tree produces these anthocyanins, and that's why we see those reds. And that's why also the reds can vary year to year. Sometimes you have a year where the maples really aren't showing that well. It just didn't have the right condition to make those particular pieces. And just to give you a little bit more information about these colors is the carotenoids, like I said, are always there. They were always there. But they believe that the reason exists is almost like a sunscreen for the plant, that it protects the chlorophyll from excess light and giving damage to the leaf. In us, beta-carotenes, right, carotenoids, are what gives our body, it converts to vitamin A, which is essential to our immune system and to our vision. So it's a protective kind of thing. The function for the anthocyanins, they protect the leaves from stress, cold nights, strong sunlights, pest. It's a sugar strategy where the idea is that it's shielding the leaf from too much light, giving too much, time to reabsorb. That kind of idea that it's sort of protecting it. They sort of think that the leaves sort of are also a warning color to insects. Oh, this isn't a very good tree to lay your eggs in. A lot of times bright colors are sort of a warning to things. And in us, when we eat cranberries, purple food, purple grapes, they are considered to be a superfood, and that reduces inflammation and protects our blood vessels. So they all have purposes. Do not eat leaves. That's not the point here. Eat the vegetables with the same property in them. But that's the idea. I guess in short, chlorophyll is the energy maker, the carotenoids are the energy boosters and the bodyguards, and the anthocyanins are the stress shields and pest deterrents. So that's kind of a fun way of looking at it. When you think about the species that turn different colors, oaks will turn that nice russet brown, hickories are golden bronze, aspens and poplars, they usually you see them on mountainsides or in Rocky Mountain National Park. They're related to birches, but essentially you sort of see that shimmering gold. Dogwoods, which I have in my backyard, take on a purplish tint. They look beautiful in fall. And the beech trees fade kind of into a tan, while the maples, they're kind of the fireworks of the entire fall. Some of them are brilliant red, some are orange, and some are yellow, and sometimes it's all on the same tree. I have some sumac that is limey green during the summer, and then in fall turns this brilliant red and then gets the seed pack on it, which is also red. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous tree. My like I said, it's called tiger sumac. Beautiful. And so I tend to plant a lot of the trees that look just beautiful in fall. And you kind of wonder then, why are some years better than other years and then some years are kind of dull? If the spring was warm and wet, that helps the leaves grow strong. If the fall days are sunny and the nights are cool, that helps the sugar build up into the leaves and creates that anthocyanin if that plant goes red. But if it's too dry or the frost comes too early, the leaves might just skip the whole show and go straight to brown and drop the leaves. And you can tell when you have autumns like that, they are turning kind of beige brown. They're not really getting color. And then one big kind of windy rainstorm and they're all gone. So you have to wait for the right years in order to kind of get that full picture. But not every tree goes into autumn in this fall color. We have things called evergreens. And me being in the North Woods, we like pine trees. Think of cedars, hemlocks, redwoods. They keep their needles all year long. The needles are protected by a thick, waxy coat, which keeps the water from inside of them freezing. They can photosynthesize even in the harshest cold. I've seen trees at 14,000 feet in Rocky Mountain National Park standing firm where nothing else grows. That's what they do. They have, I was reading a plaque on a boardwalk once that said if the pine trees dropped their needles in fall and it wasn't an evergreen, by the time they finally grew them back, it would be the growing season is so short in some of these cold places, they would never get to the full production. They need those needles to be in production all year long. They are built to endure, not just to put on a show. And here's the fun thing, is even when the leaves fall, it's not wasted. They decompose. They return nutrients into the soil. I remember at one point, my city at one time banned phosphorus, I think it was. And that's what makes the next year lawn look healthy and green and everything like that. And what I learned is that if you take ornamental plants, leaves, and you mulch them back into the yard, the soil loves it. Not only the soil loves it, the bugs, the birds, the whole ecosystem is healthier. Rake it into the street, it ends up running into the lakes. And then that causes the lakes to become unhealthy. Instead, I just mulch it into my own backyard. So what I do is that I will sort of rake the leaves, but sort of even them out across my yard. And then I have a mulching mower without a bag on it, and I just mulch it back in. The very first time we get some moisture, some rain, or some snow, it all decays back into my yard. I never even see it. It's less work for me, and it's better for the backyard too. Plus, it gives that really nice, earthy, woodsy sort of smell to my backyard. It's the smell of autumn, right? So timing is everything. Here in the North Woods, when we're looking at the area I'm from way up at the top of the United States, usually we're looking at the first couple of days of October. I go to a place called Porcupine Mountain, and if I get there around October 4th, usually I can see the whole beautiful Lake of the Clouds in full bloom. Full fall colors. This year, because it got cold and wet so early, we're having an early fall. The birds left early. We're going to see the leaves go early too. So this year, don't pay attention to early October. In New England, usually it's late September. Smoky Mountains, it's early November. And Rocky Mountain National Park, there's a thing called autumn gold that happens, I think, the first week in September. You get beautiful colors there very early. So depending on where you decide you want to go, check out to see. Most places known for leaf peeping will tell you their leaf peeping forecast and tell you when peak is going to happen, when you should go up there and take a look at it. You usually have to make reservations early. But that season is fragile. One frost, 32-degree day, one big wind, and leaves can just drop like that and you miss the whole thing. So you have to make sure that when you go out and look at fall, the fall leaves, you appreciate them. Not everywhere in the world has autumn leaves. It's actually not as popular of a thing as you think. So if you live in a place that does have fall leaves, appreciate it, enjoy it, take it in, drink some hot cocoa or something like that. The idea is that we can all enjoy this particular period of time, the birds leaving. I usually like to go camping in October. I look forward to soup on those chilly nights and apple donuts from the farm stand. The smell of the fall leaves on the ground. Oh, I don't know. If you ask me in spring, I'll swear that spring is my favorite season. But ask me right now, and I'll tell you fall is my favorite season. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. I appreciate you watching and listening. Tell me what your favorite season is and what your favorite thing about autumn is. The fall leaves, the bird migration. You let me know. You can put it right here in the chat channel. You can email me at jill@startwithsmallsteps.com. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much and have a great day. Oh, and make sure you get out there and go see some fall leaves.